Tennessee was embarrassed last year in the Swamp. Now, Philip Fulmer's team out for revenge and trying to get him a first victory against Urban Meyer. Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz, glad to be with you on the college football previews presented by Geico. It's the SEC Game of the Week, number 4 Florida at Tennessee. And to help me break it all down, Spencer Tillman on the phone, despite all the damage going on in Houston, gracious enough to join us to break it all down. And Spence, let's just start right there with the embarrassment factor. How much does revenge play a role in this game?
Well, it always plays a role. Anytime you get a 59 spot hung on you by a Florida team, particularly in this historical matchup, it's significant. But if there's going to be any solace taken on the part of Tennessee, Jason, it's going to have to not be in the point total, but just being satisfied with the win, because the way Tennessee is going to have to win this game is on the ground, and they're going to have to do it slow and methodically. They just don't have the big strike capability in their first-year quarterback, and so they've got some major issues to overcome. So if a win is enough for them, they'll be fine.
But, Spence, Tennessee hasn't had a rushing play go for longer than 6 yards in either of the last 2 games. How do they get Arian Foster off and going?
Well, you make a great point, and that's the case. You got to have help, and I think Montario Hardesty, if he's healthy, obviously he's been on again, off again, and then Lennon Creer, the guy we haven't heard a lot about, has been outstanding. I think that he is the best athlete they have among the running backs. So look for him to spell either one of those other 2 backs. But Arian Foster is a top guy. He's the guy that will carry the ball the majority of the time. But watch out for Lennon Creer. He could be the most talented of the 3.
Well, the other part to this, Spence, is the fact that they're taking on a Florida defense that is so much better from last year. What have you seen from them that is just that much better in terms of pressure on the quarterback, forcing turnovers, and all of it?
Well, Dan McCarney has come on board, and he's actually coaching the defensive line, and that's actually a weakness for them. They have great linebacker play, got a couple of mature cover guys, but I think what I see for them is just the players being in position to make plays. And you got to credit Charlie Strong, their defensive coordinator, for the schemes that he's had over the years. He's always going to be aggressive when he can be aggressive. They haven't been as much this year simply because they don't have the pass rush that has defined their defenses historically. So they're a little bit more calculating, if you will, but they are very, very effective, and they've got tremendous intellectual property in McCarney, of course, and Charlie Strong is their defensive coordinator. So they're solid. That's where their strength is.
They do have 7 sacks and 6 forced turnovers through 2 games, and they're coming off a bye week, which people shouldn't forget either. Now, of course, Florida, everyone wants to talk about offense, and for good reason. They put up 59 points on Tennessee last year. Tim Tebow had a huge game. It's the 3rd time that Philip Fulmer's defense will have a look at Tim Tebow. You expect them to do anything differently with him?
No, I think that Dan Mullen wants to keep him to, and if you look at the first couple of outings they've had, to about 10 to 11 carries per game. If they do anything more than that, they're really subjecting him to injury, and it's going to happen. But the thing that you've got to look at as a development for him recently is his efficiency. He's always been fairly efficient, but, he's gone 130 pass attempts without an interception, and that's a Florida record. Danny Rohrfel was a pretty good quarterback. The most he could manage was 121 consecutively without an interception. So he's taking care of the ball as Tim Tebow, and he's also getting some special play from some of the skill position players, and that's really supporting him. And they were going to need that, Jason, coming in, because Cornelius Ingram, their tight end they lost before the season began, was not available to them. And I know firsthand that they really wanted him involved in what they were doing offensively. So they don't have that. But they have definitely, with Aaron Hernandez, who his replacement was, have come in and done some really solid things offensively. So they've got plenty of talent, and that's the reason why Tennessee has got to keep that ground game to keep that talent off the field.
And part of that talent that they're expecting to have a big game from, or at least hoping to, is Percy Harvin, who's had another week to get healthy. What are you expecting from him, Spence?
Well, he says that he feels better than he ever has. But again, the thing that's tricky with him is he's a thoroughbred, and even Urban Meyer used similar words to describe him, and they tend to get dinged. And when something goes wrong, there's a lot of other things that tend to go wrong, Jason. But you're right. If you can get the ball in his hand, we saw with LSU, for example, one of their skill position players who has speed did some great things. And I think that Percy Harvin is similar in this regard. The guy is a game changer. And when you get that kind of disparity in talent on the field, it's really tough, if not impossible, to stop him.
And now that he's healthy, also an even bigger part to this game. Spence, the team that has rushed for more yards has won this one 16 out of the last 18 years. Who's going to rush for more yards, and is it going to be enough to win?
Well, that's a great stat, and that may be an anomaly this year. I think the team that winds up rushing for more will be Tennessee, simply because they're equipped to do it. Florida will win this contest. They just have too much talent, and they're too solid sound schematically on the defensive side of the ball. So no revenge factor realized here.
I'll take Florida as well, simply because they got the better quarterback, they've got the better players, they probably have the better coach at this point as well, and the whole coaching staff as well. Spencer Tillman, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck with everything down there in Houston.
Thank you, Jason. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All right, folks, and don't forget, you can catch SEC Live every Saturday. It's the game of the week, streaming live on CBSSports.com, 3:30 every single week on CBSSports.com. For Spencer Tillman, I'm Jason Horowitz. Enjoy Florida and Tennessee. Take care, folks.